Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special episode. Is it a special episode or is it just a reaction video to Ole Gunnar being sacked? So today, is it late morning, mid morning, or in early in the afternoon? Manchester United announced that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left the club. This comes after a 4-1 defeat away at Watford, which was an embarrassing defeat. So, of course, with me, I have Trickster the Real or Evra. We are going to just give our reactions and dissect what went wrong with Ole at Manchester United. Steve, how are you, man?
I'm good,
Mhm,
more than good.
mhm,
Christmas has come early. Hata nimepata tayari.
mhm,
It was a good surprise.
mhm.
Yeah, at least weekend imeisha on a good note.
Yeah.
Although it was a bit somber yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we move. At least we have something to cheer about now.
Yeah. 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 Of course, it's not good to it's not always nice to see someone lose their job, but under the circumstances, I think the performances at the club were not were not good. And football is a result oriented business. If you don't get the results, you get sacked. So we are just going to start by going through the club statement. So the club statement read: Manchester United announces that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as manager. Ole will always be a legend at Manchester United, and it is with regret that we have reached this difficult decision. While the past few weeks have been disappointing, they should not obscure all the work he has done over the past 3 years to rebuild the foundations of long-term success. Ole lives with our sincerest thanks for his tireless efforts as manager and we wish him our very best wishes for the future. His place at the club's history will always be secure, not just for his story as a player, but as a great man and a manager who gave us many great memories, as many great moments. He will forever be welcome back at Old Trafford as part of the Manchester United family. Carrick will now take charge of the team for the forthcoming games while the club looks for an appointment or while the club looks to appoint an interim manager to the end of the season. So, Steve, this Manchester United made the announcement that they sacked Ole, but it seems like the club did not have a plan. Uh, Now we have Carrick, and there is a statement that says that Carrick did request that Mike Phelan and Kieran McKenna be kept to work with the backroom staff. Remember that during the incidents or the reports that led to the official announcement, it was also made clear that the two assistant managers, except Carrick, would lose their job. Does this show that Manchester United did not have a plan? Did they not see this coming? Remember that they gave Ole a 3-year contract back in July.
Honestly, I don't think the board, the guys in charge, wanted to sack Ole. As you can even read in the statement, it's
Mhm,
sort of it's not like a sacking because you can if you can check the they didn't say he has been sacked. They actually said he's left the club.
mm,
So I think maybe they are trying to be polite, but when you read in between the lines, I don't think they wanted really to sack him. I think they wanted their plan, because I'm sure they had a plan, was for him to at least take the team throughout the season and finish the season. Then they'll see, because I think right now there are not so many available names. So yeah, that's why I think, because even as you can see their statement, they're saying they are not looking for a permanent manager at the moment.
mhm,
Carrick is just a caretaker. Then they'll get an interim who
mhm.
will take us up to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Then now they'll
Mhm,
they look for a permanent manager. So I
yeah.
think they had a plan. but
Mhm.
the plan was to maintain the status quo up until the end of the season, gauge where the season is. But I doubt whether they would have kept Solskjaer unless something miraculous would happen and he'd win a cup. I
Mhm.
think that was
Mhm.
the bare minimum they had given him, considering how much money they had spent or they had
Mhm.
spent throughout the 3 years he's been with us.
Mhm.
So yeah, but so many people are saying we didn't have a plan, or Manchester board didn't have a plan, but I think
Yeah.
they had a plan, but
Yep.
the result against Watford was I think was something that they couldn't was it shield Solskjaer anymore.
Mm.
With I think the board were the board could take a loss against the bigger teams like Liverpool and Man City, but Watford was a bit too much for everyone. I think uh, I think they hadn't planned to sack him, but the result at Watford forced them to do it, forced their hand,
Mm.
I'd say.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I think yeah, that's my 2 cents about the whole situation.
Mm.
But I'm glad that he's out, and looking forward to life post Ole.
Personally, I have mixed feelings regarding Ole's departure because I love the guy. He's a club legend, and from the looks of things, from what I gather from the internet, and also looking at the players' reactions on social media, he looks like he's a nice guy. The players love him, but unfortunately, when it comes to what matters, it looks like he doesn't get it right, or he didn't get it right. You look at reports coming out, and I tweeted something today saying that the truth train is going to come out, and I expect it to continue because I've already started seeing media reports coming out revealing what has been going through behind the scenes, from players crying after defeats, players questioning his loyalty to certain players. Um, there's one player who questioned why he was not considered for the captainship, while other players are questioning why some players are playing more than they are, why players are not getting game time. Such reports have started coming out, and it shows how things started going bad for Ole. Because when he came in, he did a very good job. He steadied the ship because by the time Mourinho was leaving, the club was in disarray. There was a lot of toxicity in the dressing room, and he steadied the ship. He got to buy players like Bruno. He got players like Wan Bissaka in. Daniel James, of course, he left, among many others. But unfortunately, it's like um, he never trusted his own guys, or he never trusted the word of his coaches. At the same time, you look at what is going on. I think Manchester United have thrown, or the board have thrown Ole under the bus, because Ole should have gone after the Liverpool game. Manchester United board had 2 weeks to sort this out. And funny enough, I was joking with a pal of mine lately yesterday. We were having a laugh and we were saying, Ole decided to go on holiday for 8 days and come back to this mediocrity. Because I thought once we lost to Man City, he would have stayed and said, let me work with the players who are there. Let me try to find a solution going forward, because it's like him going to Norway on a holiday. Of course, every human being needs a rest, but him going away on holiday was like it's just normal to lose to City and Liverpool. It's like he doesn't need to work hard to cause the slump. When you look at that performance against Watford, we were outplayed, we were outrun, we were outmatched. And you look at those players out there, other than Donny and Sancho, the other players were passive. Ole was just seated down watching his small tablet screen, which is quite annoying. So anyway, I just want us to look at what went wrong for him. And we've already talked about this in our previous episodes, but we have Pascal who's joining us for the first time. Hey Pascal, karibu sana my friend. Okay, as he's sorting out, poa sana, karibu sana. Steve, as Pascal is sorting out his audio equipment, let's start by dissecting. What do you think went wrong for Ole?
I think Ole, he looked defeated, especially after the first goal. He he didn't have any tactic, I'd say. For that game especially, he just thought we'd cruise through because we had big names in the field. But unfortunately, it didn't work this time. The players didn't turn up. Most player wengi yani waliamua tu kwenda kulala. As you can see, I think even putting on Donny and Sancho, I think it was just like for him just saying, let me just give these guys a chance. Maybe they'll do something. I don't think it was more of a tactical substitution. It was more of a, let me just throw them in and see if something will happen.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I think the team was not set up okay. There was no creativity in the midfield because ukieka McTominay na mwenzake Matic. First of all, they are not the fastest players. They don't give any passes as quick as Bruno. Because if you can notice, I think Bruno was dead the whole of first half. He was non-existent. He wasn't doing anything the whole of the first half. And I think the reason for that is because passes hazikuwa zinamfikia as quick as he wants. Like, it was very lethargic. The first half, yani tulicheza mbaya sana. So,
but looking at the three seasons, Ole, okay, near 3 seasons, because in December he will have had 3 years. Sorry, 3 years. What went wrong for him? Because he started quite well, beating PSG, making us dream again, getting to semi-finals and finals. What went wrong for him? Looking at the whole time he was
never good enough. That's all I can say. He was never good enough. He wasn't an elite manager. That's the basis of everything Mina is owner. His whole managerial stay at Manu. I think it was a fluke actually kupata hiyo job. Okay, I wouldn't say he didn't deserve it because he deserved it on the merit of performances. Sawa. Hapo nimekubali. His performance up until he was given the first contract were amazing. Hata mi by then nilikuwa only on the win kabisa. That one I hold my hands high kusema hata mi nilikuwa kwa hiyo bando wako on the win. And I wanted him to get a contract because I thought it would continue the training ingeendelea mpaka end of season, of which unfortunately he wasn't consistent enough throughout the seasons, because always ungepata kuna deep tena tunapata good run tena deep, so he just wasn't an elite manager. Mi ningesema tu that's the whole reason angewahi succeed with Manchester United, because tactically he wasn't as good as the competition. Maybe tungekuwa another league or Norway or Netherlands or anywhere else other than England, where we have Pep and Klopp and Brandon and other elite managers. Kama angekuwa another league, maybe angeperform better, but since he was league world class managers, it showed that he wasn't world class. So that was the main reason why angewahi succeed at the club.
Okay, let's hear from Pasi. How are you, guy?
I'm good. I can see you guys don't like
Leo may afford kuvaa jazi ya Man U.
Finally, without shame. Anyway,
Karibu Club Banters.
Asante. Thank you, guys. I know it's been long overdue. So I'm in now. What I've heard, you guys are just too hard on the guy. I think I was Team Ole all through. You know, as much as you want to blame the manager, I don't think the players really liked him. I'm starting to think someone like Maguire just wanted him gone. Anyway, I don't see any reason. I don't see us going anywhere anyway
Mhm.
this season,
Mhm.
considering the options that we have on the table. I think Carrick is far much worse. I think they should just let Bruno or Pogba, even Pogba coach the team.
Or at least Ronaldo. Ronaldo at least coached the team and they won the Nations League.
Yeah, at least we saw him in action. Anyway, I think looking back at the 3 years that we have had, uh, I think he was a decent manager in my views. Uh, I think that as Evra said, maybe the competition got way ahead of him. But anyway, I think whatever he has assembled is the best team we are going to have in years. I don't think even the way people say Van Gaal is a master of assembling teams. Ole, what Ole has done with the team is just amazing. I think what maybe is lacking is just I don't know how to describe it, but something little. As in, I think he just missed a part of the jigsaw. So that's the reason now he's gone. I know Evra is very happy. He didn't like this guy at all. But I remember when he took over from Mourinho, we are all singing Ole Ole, and then I don't know what happened. I think his way of managing also is a bit of an issue, considering that guys he did not evolve. I think he did not change because when he come with that style, the way we were playing the last 2 seasons, I think guys had not even were not able to counter him. But over time, Watford beating us 4, and this was the I think craziest thing I've ever seen. As a tester day, I was all in, but then I said, this guy needs to go anyway. But all in all, people blame the manager, but I think the players have played a big part. What makes me happy anyway is some players were real mad, like De Gea and Bruno. A few guys, I think even Ronaldo, they were mad that we are losing. But I don't think if all the blame should go to the coach, considering if you think you are an elite player and you see your manager is not giving you the right direction, why don't you now change and play the way you want to play? Because we have seen these things. I think there were rumors that Rooney once approached Moyes. I don't know if it's true or Rooney and Van Persie told Moyes, man, whatever you are telling us to do, we are not going to do that. I think this is not the tradition of the club. Then
Yeah.
why we have elite players like Cristiano, Bruno, world class players? I don't think there's a player in Manu we cannot say world class. Maybe people like saying something about Fred, but he gets a number at Brazil, so I don't think he's that bad anyway. So you
Actually,
see,
you look at performances of Fred, performances of Pogba, Fred, Pogba, who else? Even Sancho. You look at their performance in their national teams, and you wonder why they are not performing
even
at
Maguire
the
wants
club.
to silence critics at nationals.
Yeah.
But in Manchester, I don't know what went wrong. Maybe there is a big rot, something that they are trying to tell us. But at the end of the day, the manager is the sacrificial lamb anyway. But all in all,
Yeah.
let's wait
I
and
mean,
see. I think the team is better with what's the name of this guy? The guy who coaches the under 21. Better you give him the team, not
yeah.
Fletcher
Yeah.
and Carrick. I think it's the same thing we have been seeing over and over again. But we never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I think that the club has not made any change. And I tweeted that saying that there is no change because we still have the same incompetent and inexperienced coaches at the club. You look at Carrick, recently retired from Manchester United, playing. Fletcher the same. He went to play for, was it Sunderland or Stoke, and then he came back to United. You look at how coaches like Mike Phelan. I mean, Mike Phelan should be the one guiding Ole on
Yeah,
what to do. But I think,
I was surprised.
yeah, I was surprised that. But there is an article I read on the Athletic a few weeks ago. The article was saying that Ole and Kieran freeze or froze out
Fella.
Phelan from training he was not able to take over training sessions. He was basically told to sit on the sidelines as the two young coaches did their thing. Then you look at Ole, words coming out that he was given advice by the coaches on which players to pick. I saw a report saying that he was advised to pick Sancho and he was advised to pick Sancho and Donny van der Beek for yesterday's game, but he had decided to pick Greenwood and McTominay. McTominay, remember, did not go to the national duty because he had a throat infection and the player is not fit. So you look at that favoritism, especially towards British players. I think that's what brought down Ole. Because he preferred certain players over other players. You look at Maguire, he was rushed back from injury. While you have the likes of Eric Bailly, who are not playing, you look at Varane. Varane was rushed back, and we all know, even when Varane was in Real Madrid, he had a very poor injury record. So why rush such a player to come back? So for me, I was all in. And Pascal, if you can remember this, back in was it last year or 2019? You had to break a fight or an argument between me and Steve because Steve was all out early and I was still backing the manager. And I remember that was
Yeah, I remember.
which game was it? We watched the three of us, and Steve was like, "No, this guy has to go." I think it was a Champions League game, and we lost.
Yeah,
But
it was one
yeah,
of those Champions League games.
yeah,
Stupid
yeah,
game anyway.
yeah. So looking at the 3 years Ole has been there, I think the club, in my opinion, the club should keep him as a director of football because the way he is able to bring in players, the way he's able to convince players. For example, he convinced the likes of Donny van der Beek to reject bigger clubs in Real Madrid and Barcelona. He was able to convince Lingard and Martial to stay during the summer. So I think if you have him as a director of football, he has the eye to view talent because he identified Ahmad, he identified the likes of Donny and brought them in. But at this point, I think the board also needs to change their way of doing things because look at this: gave Ole a 3-year contract in July, sacked the manager. We have a caretaker or an interim who's waiting for another interim manager, and then we appoint and then we
I
appoint.
think that's very ridiculous considering if really they had in mind about sacking Ole, because I don't think this is something that came to them yesterday.
Mhm.
I think they should have been very prepared for this.
Yeah.
Look at what Chelsea did. They sacked their manager and got a light manager immediately. Same as Tottenham. Or yeah, you see, as in these guys, they had plan. You know, I think you should be having plans. Like, for example, if this is not going to work, what is our next plan of action? Now we get an interim. Carrick is the interim manager. Then
For the
also
interim.
another for the interim. What is that, man? I don't get it. I'm so pissed right now. Am I allowed to use some curse words here?
Be careful, because you might have a school-going children who are watching. Let's
Okay,
hear
I'll try
from
my
Steve.
best.
Yeah, let's hear from Steve regarding regarding the board. Do you think that our board is competent enough to be trusted to appoint the right manager?
First of all, I never think that our board is competent to do anything. Let me just get that out there first. Our board is just shambles. I don't know what they do there. They're not football guys, as I rarely hear them talk about football. I just hear the board say, the board did, the board. I don't know even who the board is. All I know is there's the Glazers, there is Woodward, and now there is now the technical. So I don't know the other board members, but what I'd say about this specific decision of putting an interim, as I had said earlier, I think it was never the intention to sack Ole Gunnar. I think they really wanted to give him up to the end of the season. I don't think they wanted to sack him at this time because, as you can see, we don't have so many elite managers available at the moment right now. I don't think we have actually an elite manager. Maybe I'd say maybe Zidane. Zidane is the only name that comes to mind who's available. They should have sacked Ole Gunnar after we lost to Liverpool. I don't know why they need to do that, but I guess maybe because they just given him an extension of 3 years, so they thought it would be unfair for them to sack him after one loss to Liverpool. But I think that was a mistake they did. Then now, I think they are really trying their best, considering the situation and the climate at the moment. There are not so many managers who are willing to leave mid-season to join another team mid-season. It will be very hard to convince, especially big managers, because I'm hearing their number 1 and number 2 choices are either Poch and the Ajax manager Erik ten Hag.
Yeah.
So they are both currently having other jobs where they are in good positions in the leagues and even in good position in the Champions League. So it would be weird for them to leave their current jobs and come to Manchester United mid-season, leave their teams. It would be weird. It's a weird situation. So I think it's the right decision, actually. If I was the board, I'd also do that. Since there's not so many good names out there, I'd just appoint an interim. I think this season is done and dusted. I don't think any Manchester United fan actually thinks we'll win anything. I doubt if anyone in my as a Manchester fan thinks we'll win the league or the Champions League.
Oh, come on. We are going to win the Champions League. Carrick is going to leave the trophy.
I don't think we...
Simon, I like your...
I don't think anyone...
What do you mean? Carrick is going to win the Champions League and be given a 3-year contract.
I don't...
And then he's going to bring Messi in as a replacement for Ronaldo.
He's going to bottle it up as Ole.
For me, I'm ready to go through the pain of this season. I've already written it off in my mind. I know we won't win anything. All I want is for us at least to be a champion in the Champions League next season. So top 4 would be great if we can get it. I think our players are good enough to push for top 4. Hopefully we'll have a manager bounce regardless of who's the manager. Talking about the interim now, to answer your question, who do you think we should go for? I think I know people don't like him or don't know about him so much, but if it's possible, I'd take a current league manager who knows the league, who knows other teams. And the obvious choices for me would be maybe Potter. But I like his style. I like how he trains his teams or sets up his team. So Potter would be a good interim. It would be good exposure and good for his title to be a Manchester United manager, even if it's for 6 months or less. I think it's good for his CV. And he'll be able to set up the team more, because he usually plays more possession. So with the talent we have, I think we can play more possession football. I think he'd be my obvious choice. Maybe if there's a such, I've forgotten his name. Is it Blank? Something. Yeah, I think he'd also be a good interim. There are a couple of names, but although he's not, I don't think has he coached any league team?
Who?
The Blank guy.
Yeah, he has. He was at one time the coach for PSG, and I think
No, in
Monaco,
the
if
league,
I'm not wrong.
in the league,
No, in England, I don't think so.
yeah. But all I don't want to see is another Manchester legend like maybe a Rooney or a Fletcher or those kinds of guys. I think
Mm.
we've had enough of the sentimentalism about club legends. Sitaki
Yeah.
kuwaona tena kwa club yangu. We need a foreigner who doesn't give a shit about any player or
Mm.
anything, who will tell if it's Pogba, if it's Bruno, if it's even Cristiano. He'll tell him you're not playing well, so you're on the bench. I think we need a firm hand during this period, this few period until we get a permanent manager. So my obvious
Mm.
choice would be Potter or the Laurent Blanc guy as
Well,
interim.
Laurent Blanc is also not performing well. He's only had one win in 9 matches, and it's in the Qatari league. So I wouldn't want him anywhere close. But just in, Ole has just done a farewell interview with Manchester United, and part of the quote he said that I am so honored and privileged to have been trusted to take the club forward, and I really hope that I leave it in a better state than I came in. So he has just done a quick interview at Manchester United, and you can just pop over there to their official Twitter page or website to see it. Um, Graham Potter, I think he wouldn't leave Brighton to come to Manchester United for 6 months, and then
Why
after
not?
6 months be jobless
Why
because
not?
um
If
what
you
what
if
it,
you if you're a coach of Manchester United, I think that's a better CV. I think he'd get a better job than Brighton. I honestly
Mm,
think if he came to Manchester United for 6 months and we are able to go to top four, certain bigger teams than Brighton, full respect to Brighton, but they're not the biggest team in the league. I think teams like Wolves, who are struggling,
mhm,
teams like Everton,
mhm,
I think it would be a stepping stone in his career to actually have managed Manchester United. And
mhm.
yeah, I think it's not a step down. I don't think like Brighton has such a bright future for Potter that he'd say, "Oh, we'll win the league or we'll qualify for Champions League." I don't think Brighton is that kind of team where
And with all due respect to Brighton, yeah, I agree with you that it's a good CV for United, but at the same time, you look at where he is. He has built that squad. He has done basically what Fergie did, and he's succeeding there. So to leave mid-season and come to United, and I saw a report where many coaches currently are saying that they won't risk coming in mid-season. They would rather wait until at the end of the season. Yeah, Potter is a good appointment for interim. But if I were him, and I think if I'm Brighton, I wouldn't accept my coach to go to a rival club uh, mid-season. But let's go to some of the comments before we continue the reaction. Yeah, super fan Glenn anasema the whole world is happy. Ole Gunnar gone home, but Manchester should keep away from the former players, like just as Steve has said. During Ferguson time to take coaching, Jason Park, Van der Sar, no way, jamaa hizo ni rumors. Nilisoma. Okay. Masera, he says the rest of the league for us, it's a sad day. Ole was on the wheel, doing great things for United. I think Arsenal fans would love the appointment for the interim manager to be made
yeah,
after November 30th, so that at least they have a
I'm
chance.
actually I'm actually happy he was sacked now because
Mhm.
I think we'd beat Arsenal and he'd remain the coach. So I'm actually happy that haikufika huko mbali because the way Arsenal is going, I think tungepata 3 points.
Mhm.
So najua Masera is still licking his wounds. Unless aliacha kusupport Arsenal, siku hizi simuelewi. Amekuwa msaliti wa matim, jumping from team to team, so sijui sasa ana gani, maybe atu update.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that's what I have to comment about your comment. Yeah, yeah. I think now another comment hapa.
Yeah.
I think
Dean,
in
Dean
Henderson to take
Henderson.
De Gea's place. De Gea has no longer saving. If I want to see the De Gea wa kitambo, I see him in Mendy. I think your comment is a bit unfair. I think out of the defense of the whole defense of Manchester United, De Gea has kept.
Hey, Steve, kwani Ole pia ameenda na bundle zako?
Maybe helping him there. I think Glenn is a bit wrong, considering what recently. I think this season De Gea has been a top goalkeeper. If it's not for him, my friend, like yesterday, we could have lost maybe at least 6 goals if I was watching the same game this guy is watching. Even the previous game, the Liverpool game, he saved us a lot of embarrassment. So considering he has that passion for Manchester United, you can see in his game the way he gets mad when sometimes the goalkeeper cannot do anything. You see, yesterday he saved us 2 penalties. You see,
2 penalties.
That is a top goalkeeper.
People seem to forget
I
that
think
he saved 2 penalties.
If you remember last season, there was a game that Henderson was given some time. As much as he did some saves, there are some, I can't call them silly mistakes because mistakes happen, but you could say that there are some games we needed the maturity of the gear, but you could not get it. I think if it was me right now, Carrick should take that armband and give it to the gear. Maguire should stop being the captain for now, if it were me. That's what I'll suggest.
True. I think for me, the next manager should not come in with softness like the way Ole was, because Ole was too soft on the players. Because you look at Bruno of late has not been quite himself. You look at Rashford, you look at Maguire, and one of the reasons why elite managers are elite is because they make the tough calls.
Exactly.
For example, Manchester United versus Liverpool. Did you see the lineup? Mane was on the bench. Klopp decided to start with Jota.
Exactly.
And they still beat us 5-0. You look at. I've just watched the Man City game, and what is his name? This guy Raheem Sterling came in. He has not been playing because the likes
he
of
was
Grealish
one of the best players last season. But this season he started on a low end and he has been benched for so long. But today he came in and scored.
And the reason as to why he came in is because 2 of Man City's players, the 100 million man being one of them, Jack Grealish, is injured. And you see when he comes in, he performs. You look at Rodri. Rodri does not get a chance because of Fernandinho. He came in today and scored. But what does Ole do? You look at McFred. You look at you look at Wan-Bissaka. You look at Bruno Fernandes. You look at Rashford. They've not been performing, but they still get the nod to start. So the problem Ole had, for me, I think that's one of the reasons for his downfall, was favoritism. Because as a manager, you have to have that pedigree. You have to have that control where you tell your players, you have not performed well in the last few matches, you're on the bench. Until you perform, you are going to get the chance. And I was even shocked that he sold Daniel James, and Daniel James was one of the top performers in the club. So you really wonder. You look at Martial. Martial he's still in that promising stage. Anthony Martial is a player that is supposed to be among the top players in the world at the moment. You keep him, then you sell James. Look at Lingard. Every time Lingard has played, he has performed. But he still does not get a chance. Yeah, so
look at Van de Beek, man.
Yeah, Van de Beek. Look at Van de Beek. Anytime, any day, if you ask any Manchester United fan to draw up a lineup, they would have Van de Beek in front of Fred and McTominay. Other players have not even gotten a chance to play in the Premier League. One of them is Juan Mata,
Matter,
an
exactly.
experienced player that can come in and instruct the younger players on how to play. He hasn't gotten a chance. So you look at that squad and you're wondering now, the next manager who's going to come in, he's not going to have an easy job, whether it's an interim manager or it's a permanent manager, because that job entails you have big players, big egos in the squad, and you need to make sure that it works. So for me, I think we made a mistake allowing Conte to go to Tottenham, but Conte is another Mourinho. He will come in 2-3 seasons, win you a trophy, and then leave the club at a bad state. But moving forward, I think we need to get managers that are there for the long term. I've seen that the club is saying that, or sources close to the club are saying that Pochettino is closest or is the number one candidate, but I don't want him there. And I'm going to get your reactions on who you want to be the next long-term manager. But for me, I don't want Pochettino to be the next manager because,
Why not?
as Steve said the other day about Brendan, I also think Pochettino is a almost guy. If you look at what he has done across Southampton and Tottenham, I don't think it warrants enough to give him the job at United. Uh, I don't know what you guys think. Who should be our next permanent manager?
For
I
me,
don't. Okay.
Yes,
Go on, go
Pascal.
on. For me, I don't. Okay, what Pochettino is doing with the squad full of stars, I don't see really if he's doing anything. I don't think he's fit. I'm sorry. Also, Zidane, I think just he just got like he needs to prove himself in a more advanced position. Then
He has 3 Champions
wait, wait,
Leagues,
wait,
man.
wait, 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 wait. Did Pascal just say that Zidane got lucky by winning 3 consecutive Champions Leagues and a league?
And is it a
who
league or
wouldn't
two
do it?
leagues?
Zidane won 3 Champions Leagues on different, like, consecutively, and a
No, no.
league, I think.
Let me
And he was
ask
lucky.
you one thing. Let me ask you one thing. Just mention 2 players Zidane brought to Real Madrid. If he found all the team already set up, if we are looking for a 2 seasons manager, fine, Zidane will do it. But knowing Manchester, Zidane cannot stay in Manchester for 3 seasons. That I can tell you for free. He will just maybe win. He'll just be like, what is the name of this guy? Conte. Oh, sorry. If you are looking for a long-term manager, I don't think Zidane is the right person. But if it's a 2 seasons thing, maybe to just
Currently, I think Manchester United.
Yes, Steve.
I think we need a strategist. Maybe the Ajax guy. Also, there's this guy that is coaching. Okay, now he's at Bayern. The guy from Leipzig. If we were lucky, we could have gotten that guy last season. Now we could be in a very good position. That's the kind of manager we need. I don't think. Anyway, let's see what the board has in mind.
Tell you what, before Steve gives his reaction, I don't think at this point a manager would come to Manchester United for the long term and stay there for long, basically because of the board. Our board is not like Chelsea's or Man City's or Liverpool's or even the top 2-3 clubs in Bayern, Real Madrid, and Barcelona, because the board usually just want to make money for the owners. They don't focus on football, because if they focus on football, they would have looked at the performance over the last 2 months and said, the international break is the perfect time to make a change and actually make a change. So I'm fearful for any manager that takes the job, because it might mean that it will either make you or break you. If you look at All the coaches that have left Manchester United, they've always been left. All of them have been left, other than Ferguson. All of them have been left feeling down and at their lowest. You look at Moyes, left Manchester United at his lowest. Look at Van Gaal, who won the FA Cup and was sacked immediately, left at his lowest. You look at Mourinho, at his lowest. Ole, the same. So I also think that some managers are looking at the job and thinking
they're
that
afraid.
they are afraid because this board is incompetent. They haven't selected a good structure to manage football at the club. For example, you look at Ten Hag. He's working with Van der Sar, who has proven to be a very good director of football. You look at Nagelsmann at Bayern. He's working with a very good board and a very good director of football. That's why they are succeeding. But at Manchester United, you have to handle the pressure of performing at the club in terms of getting results, and at the same time making sure that the players are happy and the board is happy by making money for them. For example, the board does know that if you don't play Ronaldo, they won't make money. So that's why they brought in Ronaldo. I'm sure a serious club would look at Ronaldo and say, if we bring him in, is he going to disrupt the chemistry and the
The
progress of
balance.
the balance of the club, or is he just coming in for the money? Of course, he's a world class player. Every club wants him, but in my opinion, if you're going to bring in a player like Ronaldo to the club, it means that now you're going to build the team around him. Probably Ole didn't want him, and he was forced to have him in the club. We don't know. I think we are going to know in the next few weeks or so. But those managers that we are mentioning, including Brendan Rodgers, including Pochettino, they've had a supportive board. I think Pochettino um, failed at Tottenham because he did not get the players he wanted. But at United, let me ask
At
a question.
Tottenham, there was an issue of funding.
Funding because
I
of the
think
new stadium. And I'd like to ask Steve this so that he can also give his view on the next permanent manager. Do you think that if Pochettino came to the club and said, I don't need Rashford, I don't need Greenwood, I don't need McTominay, do you think that the board will accept, or they will just tell him you need to find a way to make them work? Because I mean, you look at those players, there are certain coaches who will say they are and Greenwood are good players, but they'll have to stick on the bench. Uh, what do you think?
Uh, okay, let me first answer your latter question about the board. I think any elite manager would want to be a manager for Manchester United just by the mere fact we are who we are. I don't think I think there's this myth that is going around since we are not at a bad patch that we are not attractive to coaches out there. I don't think it's true. I think any manager in the world who is available, let me just add that any manager in the world who is available would be licking their fingers or salivating
Well,
for the fact
let me cut you
just to
short.
be a manager.
Let me cut you short and tell you that reports are coming in that Zidane has rejected Manchester United twice.
From who?
So,
From who? There are reports coming out from every hole that is from anybody. Anyone can tweet anything. Until what I've heard from credible source about Zidane is that the wife doesn't want to relocate because of the rain and the weather in Manchester is not good. But Zidane himself has not said anything about the club, as far as I know. So I don't think that myth. I don't know where it's coming from. Where people are saying, "Oh, uh, uh, some." Just look at the squad. First of all, just look at the squad. A manager is guaranteed of having, in his first season, minimum of 6 world-class players. I'd say. I think we have like 6 guaranteed world-class players. Which team has that at this moment in time? Very few teams have so many options. We have depth. The bench is I think the bench is okay. If he wants fans, I'm very sure an elite manager will get fans if he wants the fans. I'm sure if we get a Zidane or a Poch or anyone, and he sees that McFred, as people put them, are not good enough, I think, regardless of what people say about the Glazers, they'll cough up at least 100 million in the next summer to reinforce whatever needs to be reinforced. Uh, so that myth, I just want to put it out there. I don't think any sensible manager would say no to Manchester United unless he's just afraid that the pressure that comes with Manchester United will be too much, which I don't expect from elite managers. I think elite managers thrive under pressure and actually want to be in such kind of pressures. So if any manager says anything like the board is not elite, honestly, because elite managers should be able to adapt to certain kinds of situations. That's my first answer to your question. So I think we can have anyone we want. I honestly think so. I don't think an available manager, given a contract for Manchester, would say no unless he's been promised something bigger. Uh, for my choice for permanent manager, which will be now the coming season, I think my top three, I've said them. It's the Hag guy, the Ten Hag, Poch. I think Poch, regardless of what people say about Poch, I think Poch is a good manager. I think he's capable. Come what may, I think he's better than Ole Gunnar or what we have currently. The third one, I'd say Zidane. Nataka nani amwamini. I think Zidane is a winner. He demands a lot from his players. Technically, he's actually good. He's proven that when it comes to finals, the team will win because he's won so many finals. I don't think he's gone to a final and lost yet, which is a good thing for our coach. So any of the three would be good for me. I'd take any of the three. But for my preference, I think Ten Hag obvious would be my first choice. Just by the mere fact of what he's doing at Ajax, I think he has more structure in whatever he's doing. Second, I think Zidane would be a second for me if Hag says he can't leave Ajax. So Zidane, I think, would be he would improve us. And Poch, I think PSG has not been fair to him. I think sijui shida ni gani kusema ukweli, but I think they're still leading the league at PSG.
Yeah.
I think I think I'll know my three choices for permanent managers next season.
Yeah. Okay. Pascal, your three choices.
That one I think I need to give it a lot of thought. I don't see anyone worthy managing this mighty club.
Yeah.
There's no one worthy managing this mighty club right now available. So I think I'll pass that for now because whatever Steve is saying, I don't agree with him at all.
Steve, tunakusikia vizuri sana.
What happened?
I think Zidane will. I think Zidane will come at the end of the season or next season. I think he's rejecting right now. I think he wants to wait until the end of the season and then he'll come for a short-term contract because remember that he's eyeing the France job and the World Cup is in 2022. The other thing that I think is a bit difficult for United at the moment is that most managers that are in the jobs will become available at the summer or after the World Cup because you look at the likes of Luis Enrique, Roberto Mancini. Those are managers that can come into the club and actually change and coach these players. So I think it's also a difficult moment for United to get a manager because of the World Cup and because of also it's mid-season. Uh, Personally, I think the squad is not yet balanced. I believe we need a strong combative midfielder, defensive midfielder that will allow the likes of Bruno, Fred, and also Donny van der Beek to express themselves, to express their skills. So for me, in terms of the long-term manager, I'd take Luis Enrique as my first choice because Luis
Good
understands
one.
big matches. Louis has won leagues, has won a lot, and I think he also has. If you are going to go into the Manchester United DNA, he also gives young players a chance. You look at what he's doing at Spain, giving players like Pedri and Gavi or Javi chances to play at 18, 17, 19-year olds in the national level, and they're performing. So I think he will be a manager that can come in and also give youth a chance because we have young players like Ahmad who need to be playing. My second choice would be Zidane. But I'm placing Zidane second because I don't think he's going to be a long-term project at United. He's just going to come in for 2-3 seasons and then he leaves. My third choice is Ten Hag. But for Ten Hag, I'm fearful that he might come to United and not find a structure similar to what he has at Ajax, and he will struggle a bit. So those are my three choices. I know most guys are saying Pochettino, but as I've said, I don't think Pochettino can perform well at United. I'm yet to be convinced by Poch because at PSG we can't use PSG to gauge his managerial skills. Even if you give
Use
Steve,
He has
Tottenham.
done nothing.
even
Use
if
Tottenham.
you give
Use
Steve
Tottenham
PSG
then. Don't use PSG. Use Tottenham.
at Tottenham, he won nothing.
He won nothing.
But
He
with
won
what?
nothing.
What facilities did he have to win anything?
Okay,
Son
let's
and
not talk
Ken.
about winning. What were his positions at Tottenham?
I think
League positions
they
at
used
Tottenham.
to
What was the
position
best
in the
position
league.
he got at Tottenham?
In the league. I
Yes.
think were they third ones? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
That's the best position
Third.
he got.
Yeah,
Third.
and
Ole is
That's the
better than
best.
good
that
enough.
guy.
It's good enough actually. For the players he had,
Mm-hmm.
I think third was fair enough to say. And for
Mm-hmm.
even him with such kinds of limited resources to reach a final, of which I think it was a weird final. I think if they pushed Liverpool a bit, they would have won the title. And remember that season to advance to the final they had to beat big teams. I
Mm-hmm.
think the likes of Man City in the semis. I can't remember. I think Ajax, was it Ajax also they beat?
Was
So
it
they beat
Ajax or Dortmund?
a couple
Yeah.
of yeah, one of them. They beat a
Mm-hmm.
couple of very decent teams to be in the final. So I think people don't put enough respect on Poch's name simply because maybe his last season in Tottenham it wasn't good. Then his first season at PSG was a bit of a downer, I'd say, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still a good manager. I think with the right amount of fans and the technical bench, I hope all these all these what are they called? Ex players will be dumped off end of
I, don't-
season.
I
I
don't
don't want to
think so.
see any ex player.
I think Carrick and Fletcher will stay at the club. I think all other coaches
Especially
will leave,
Fletcher.
How
but yes, Fletcher can't leave because Fletcher is the technical director, so I don't think he will leave. I think Carrick might be retained
by
because
why? Who would give Carrick an assistant manager job?
I don't
Which
think
elite
that.
manager would do that?
Mhm. I don't think Carrick. Um, I don't think Carrick deserves to be an assistant manager. I just think he should be a coach, a normal coach. That's my opinion. I think
He
Carrick
should be.
can make, yeah, should be a normal
Carrick
coach.
can make
For
a good coach.
example,
Why?
he can.
Why?
I'm saying I don't know what happens in the background, but based on his inexperience and based on what we've seen from him so far, he cannot make an assistant manager. But probably, just like the likes of Evra, the likes of Mata, of course, I hear he also has a coaching role at Manchester United. Let him first become a coach. You can give him probably a technical coach for midfield or something like that, but he shouldn't be an assistant manager. You know, an assistant manager based on the structure of the club is someone that sits with the manager and decides which squad is going to play the next game, which tactics is going to play for the next game. I don't think Carrick
He's
is
not in
good for
that
that
level
role.
yet.
Yeah, he's not yet at that level. But as I said, I'm disappointed because I expected the likes of Mike Phelan to actually
To
have
take
a
over.
big, yeah. If I was to be asked, um, I'd say if let's say Pochettino is to come, let's sack the whole coaching team and let the manager come with his team
With his own
and be
team.
given funds to sign coaches you want. As we finish, I saw a certain quote that was saying, or a certain report that was saying, Ole Gunnar was given the chance to sign coaches for the club because the club saw that they were struggling, and Ole rejected the chance to bring in coaches. He said that he already had world-class coaches. So I think hiyo story ya kukuwa na kiubeshte kwa club hiyo ndio inatumiza. But gentlemen, your final thoughts as we end the show.
The interim can be ex-Barcelona coach. What is the name of the guy? Coman. Look at. I wanted to see your reaction.
I'd rather bring Mourinho back from Roma.
Okay.
We'll
better get Gary Neville then.
Actually, I will drive myself from Nairobi to Roma and take Mourinho back to Carrington instead of having Koeman back, having Koeman as our manager.
Okay. My final thoughts are I think we are open to surprises. There is a very famous clip says that we should lose even the hope that we have, which is already lost. So what I'm trying to say is that let's wait for surprises.
Yeah.
I'm all out. All waiting for surprises. Nothing. No hope, nothing.
Okay. Steve, your final thoughts?
No, I think I don't know why you guys are so somber. I think it's a joyous day. I am hopeful. I am so hopeful. I didn't have hope yesterday, but now I'm hopeful. I would take anyone. I would actually take anyone if it meant Ole Gunnar would be out. So from the first coach of the league to the last one, anyone can be an interim manager for Manchester United, and I'd be okay with it. I don't think. I think interim. I'm looking at the bigger picture, and interim is not so important for me at the moment. As long as it's a competent guy who can at least give us top 4, that's all I need.
Then let's take Pep as the interim.
Yeah, if he wants, I would take him I'd take him immediately. If
We take Pep as the interim, and
to
then at the end of the
be an
season, he can
interim,
go
I
back
think
to
I'd even
City.
take. I would be in. I would actually take Pep as an interim, even if he still coaches Man City. If by part time he just comes and does something, his main job will be Man City, but part time, part time he crosses the road and comes to Man U and just give us a few pointers on how to play. I would take him as an interim. I think even part time is Pep is good enough to be a part time interim manager for Man U. But yeah, I'd take anyone. All I don't want right now is to now do another kind of Ole signing where it's more of sentiment and we go for like a Rooney or a Fletcher or somebody of that, or even I've had Evra has I think the coaching badges. I don't want such kind of, although Evra is my icon, but no, I wouldn't want him at the moment to be anywhere near my club as a manager. So yeah, I imagine if I was to be asked, I'd go for just an old guy who has like 20 years experience of coaching. I'd go to Italy and maybe get the Atalanta coach from wherever he is, even though he usually works with a cane. I don't care. I just need somebody who will come and instill some discipline in the changing room. Uh, yeah, I think interim.
You can bring back Van Gaal then for
Yeah,
discipline
I would
purposes.
actually bring back Van Gaal for an interim job if he's free. I would actually bring back Van Gaal.
Good luck
After
with that.
the season. He's better than Ole, I'd say. Tactically, I think with the set of players, he'd be better. He'd perform better than Ole Gunnar, in all honesty. So, interim, anyone but not ex-Manu player, permanent player, permanent coach. I'd take the three that I said, either Ten Hag, Poch, or Zidane. Yeah, and I'm happy. I don't know why Manchester fans are sad today and saying, "Oh, we're in shambles." You're not in shambles. We are actually moving forward. Sacking Ole. I know you guys were Ole inners. That's why mnaleta shida juu. Oh, your guy has been sacked. Oh, poleni.
We
Even
have to
ilikuwa
be sad,
inafaa.
man. You have to be sad. We love the guy.
Why would I be sad?
We love the
That
guy.
guy
He's a
gave
club
me
legend,
sleepless.
but
Ile banta zote nilipata,
mm,
hata siwezi feel chochote. Wacha aende. Maybe I don't know kama iko timu itaimpa kazi England. I think itabidi arudi Norway. Huko Molde huko, arudi huko aende akafanya shughuli zake. Yeah, but
Akalime.
akalime sijui Norway
but
wanafanya
kumbuke Molda ilifika mahali mafans pia wako wanamtaka.
Ah,
Yeah.
So,
I think he'll just get a national team position na tulie huko.
Hiyo ni
what
ngumu.
you guys
Hiyo ni
expect?
ngumu. Hiyo ni
Expect a
ngumu.
new manager bounce from now to December. To lose game hata moja, and you've had it from me. We are not losing a game till 2022.
Ah,
I'm that confident.
The internet never forgets, my friend. The internet never
as
forgets.
I'm
can
saying,
clip
I'm
it.
open.
These are- I
I'm
know.
open to
Don't lie.
surprises.
Clip it now. I have said Manchester United are not losing a game till 2022.
Okay.
Hiyo clip
So
na
until
weke Twitter, weke until 1st January 2022. We are
2022.
not losing
Okay.
another game. Hii sasa ni manager bounce 10 games kwenda.
Kaende.
Kaende.
Ole Sacked.
Anyway, tomorrow we have the game week 12 review. I hope Pascal will be available for the show. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for tuning in and being with us. Remember, you can always find us across our social media platforms, as you've seen on our ticker at the bottom. You can follow me on social media at Simoninsky wherever you want. I'm everywhere except on OnlyFans. I'm not on OnlyFans, but I'm on Instagram.
Yet. Usitaki kusema yet.
Yes.
You're not
At
on
yet.
fans yet. But you're working on it.
I'm working on it. I'll be going there. I'll be going there every Wednesday
we need
evening.
those dollars, by the way. Tunahitaji hizo pesa.
Is that pesa? I'll be going to OnlyFans. I think I should create an OnlyFans page so that on Wednesday evenings I can show guys stroking my one pack.
Good luck with that.
Sema stroking nikono umeanza kwenda south sana. Uzuri umerecover na umerecover hapo na one pack. Ungetulia hapo na stroking.
Anyway, thank you guys. Of course, as I said, Simoninsky, wherever you want to find me, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Trickster the Real, as always, utampata pia kwenye ma socials, and he's very active on TikTok. I wish I was active on TikTok like you, man.
TikTok,
And
interesting.
at Pasi Kalela on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until tomorrow, guys, have a good one. Cheers and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Ciao.